make a space for Gino, you guys, and tell a little bit about his experiences here in the 80s.
Well, in 81, I was dating this girl in Springtown, so me and her, my brother, and one of her friends, her dad's telling us about the goat man. Of course, you know, we're big monster hunters, whatever you want to call it. You know, we're kids, and everything. But you know, so we decided to come out one night, and you know, like back in the day, you were allowed to, you know, when you're 18, you're allowed to have beer. So of course, you know, we stopped and get us 12 pack, and we come out, and I had this like Q-beam spotlight, right, and we're in front of my '78 GMC pickup, so we're all crammed in there, and we're driving around on these roads out here, and everything's changed, and I'm old, so I don't remember everything. But you know, it's like we pull up to this part, and I'm pretty sure it was where the dock is down there, and we kill the truck, and we've been telling these girls these stories, you know, about everything, and I got out of the truck and sat on the door and was just kind of up over top of my deal like this with the Q-beam, and I turned the Q-beam on, and I don't know where I'm at because I've never been there, and it's pitch black. And the Q-beam, you know how when you put a flashlight that's real bright or something in the woods, it kind of comes back at you, but there's these two red, what I called reflectors, and I go, well, there he is right there, you know, just kidding around. And my brother goes, well, crap, and you just seen these two red reflectors, which end up being eyes, about this far apart, and they just turned, and this thing walked back behind the trees. And them girls were screaming bloody murder. It was it, go, you know. So I slid back out of the truck, and we took off and went, you know. So it was our, you know, Lake Worth monster sighting. But it was really weird because we come back the next day, and the next day I come back, we wanted to see how tall it was and where it was at, and it was the tree that it was at, where we thought it was about 7 foot tall. And his eyes was like where my ears were. It was real wide. And they were real big. They weren't, like I said, if you have a little reflector knocked in by your driveway, that's how big the eyes were, you know? So anyways, that was that story. Well, about, I don't know, in '02 maybe, my second wife, me and I had her doctors, and I had a TVRC shirt on, and I was in there, and I was talking to this lady that was her secretary. And so she goes, what's on that shirt? And I said, oh, that's, you know, and we started talking, and she goes, I see that. I've seen one. I go, really? So we start talking. Well, if you guys ever read the story in Sally Ann Clark's book about the people that were cooking dinner down on the lake, you know, for, I don't remember if it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever, they were cooking whatnot. And how the girls went up and got in the car, and they started the car up, it was cold or whatever, and then they got the picture that's in the book that night, right? Well, I'm talking to this lady, and she's the lady that's in the car in the story. And she's telling me everybody's names, how it happened, everything exactly the way it was. I go, really? And so it was like, I met this lady that was in the car, and was best friends or sisters or whatever, the girl, I can't remember the whole story, you know, it's been so long. But, so she said just about exactly how it was. So it's pretty cool being in places sometime where, and I've been in weird places where things like just happen with this Bigfoot stuff. And, you know, one time we were having a big party at my apartment. About a year after that, I moved out. All these people come in there. We don't know these people at all, but these girls are there, and we're talking to them. We're trying to scare them, you know, tell them Bigfoot stuff. This girl's name was Catherine, and they called her Cat. So we're sitting around her talking. She goes, I saw Bigfoot. I go, really? She goes, yeah. It's okay. So she's telling me this story, and she says, me and my boyfriend were at his grandma's dairy over in Hazel. And she said, we were fishing in the creek. And she said, we were coming around, you know, the bend in the creek, and she said something was stinking real bad. And we come around there, there's this big black hairy thing on one knee getting a drink out of the water, out of the creek. And we stopped, and it looked at us, and it got up, and it run down the creek, and we ran back up to the house. So, you know, she told the story. Well, about 2 years after that, me and our brother started doing a paintball thing. It got real big, so we put air cab together, our paintball team. We had a bunch of guys we didn't know. They come and were playing with us. And we were talking one night, and one of my friends, Ricky Ryan, we were talking about Bigfoot, you know. And so he goes, yeah, he goes, my grandma's dairy over there in Hazel. He goes, they're there. And I'm going, oh, really? And I'm remembering what this girl's telling me. He's going, yeah. He said, you know, and my girlfriend, you know, tells me the same story she did, you know. And then I asked who, you know, evidently those were the same two people that were put in my path in a 2-year span, or 3-year span, telling me the same story, and that's who it was, a boyfriend and girlfriend. So it was like, wow, that's strange, you know. But you know, Ricky, his dad's best friend was a government trapper in the 50s, and they called them bush apes, and he said they're there, you know, and we talked about, you know, and everything, and he said, and I go, what's up with the tracks, you know, I mean, you know, I ain't claiming to be no great tracker or nothing, but, you know, we used to do that crap when we were kids, you know, and stuff, and I said, these things will leave tracks, 2 or 3, 4 of them, and then they're gone. You don't know where they went. You can look all around, they're not there. Now, what Ricky's dad's friend said was at the bottom of the foot is a fat pad. He said it's almost like a cat. No claws, no toes, no nothing. Almost when they walk, it just kind of like goes like this with no toes. When they get scared, if you scare them, or if they're running after a deer, chasing something, whatever, then you know, the toes come out, and then you see them, and then go whatever. So I don't know. We tried to put that theory together on some stuff, on tracks we found, but you know how it is trying to find tracks in Texas. We looked for, we were out there 10, 11 years solid looking for tracks, and there was not a whole lot of them that, you know, I would have said, yeah, you know, one of them made it, you know. But anyways, it's weird. Different people in different times, and different, you know, I didn't know these people at all, you know, we just met. And they're telling me the same story, and there was no fluctuation on, you know, nobody was exaggerating anything, you know. And you could tell people tell stories over and over and over. They might forget something or whatever, you know. They might be like me, and getting old and you don't remember everything. But you know, when it's pretty fresh in their minds or whatever, they're telling the same story. There's some kind of truth to it. What's going on in that, with the story, you know. So, but we claim we saw the Lake Worth monster about 81, and we saw his eyes. But
how far from here was your other sighting?
The other sighting was in Weatherford, with the same girl I was going with in high school, and on Sunshine Lake. It's now Cartwright Park, but back when we was a kid, it was a big circle like this, and it was just all dirt road, and then there was little chutes off of it where you could park and build a fire and camp. And when it rained, man, there was you know 15 or 20 of us up there with our trucks mud, and we'd just fly around there until everybody got stuck and couldn't go anymore or whatever. But you know, just a place to hang out. And where there was this, on the left side of it, the creek was down in there that flowed into the lake. And it was really thick in there. And the trees was like a canopy over those little parking spots. So me and my girlfriend would go up there and would, you know, park and hang out and whatnot. So she has this new car, which was new to her, and we weren't in my truck. And we took her car. Well, we went up there, and of course it was dry and everything. We parked in there, and when you get in there, you can't see your hand like this. It's just completely dark. And it was kind of cold out, so we just had the windows open some. And we're in the back seat of the car, hanging out, and like, it was real dry. So, as it being, what time of the year it was, you could kind of hear everything because of how the leaves were and whatnot. Well, when you're sitting there in that spot, there's a hoot owl that lives in this tree, and there's locusts everywhere, and there's tree frogs, and there's crickets, and there's everything in the woods doing whatever they're doing all the time. So, this particular night, stuff started getting quiet, right? And like back about a mile and a half from this place is old railroad tracks up there. So trains were still using them tracks. Well, it sounded like something's coming up to the car through the leaves, and when it walked, it kind of drug its leg a little bit, okay? It wasn't like it was just a, you know, somebody just walking. It was like a weird walk, right? And I'm thinking, oh crap, some guy jumped the train, hurt his leg, he's gonna come up here and want the car, want to kill us, whatever, you know. And so she's going, what is it? I'm going, I don't know, but as this is happening, everything's getting quiet. The tree frogs quit, the owl quits, you know, everything's just quiet. And all you hear is just like a step drag up the hill of the car. So, you know, I was kind of freaked out, and I just said, I'm getting this out of here. So I rolled over to the seat, and I never drove her car, so I'm trying to find the key. And it was up on the dash, not on the thing. So I finally started, and when I started up, I knew if I flew straight back out in the car, I'd be able to see a little bit, because you know, there was moonlight out there, and you can see when you get backed out of these little spots. So I just put it in reverse and flew backwards, and I was trying to find a light, and I think I got the cigarette lighter, and then I finally hit the lights. When we come back and we turned, she was kind of sitting up in the back seat, over the seat like this, watching the window, and we see this thing. And I think we scared it because the car had need exhaust on it and the muffler's bad, so I floored it, it scared the crap out of it. And it jumps like over into the creek, and it didn't have no neck, and I just got it long enough to see it in the headlights as I was backing up and turning. It had no leg, like no neck, you know, and it jumped like almost like a bear, and that's the first thing I thought, wasn't a bear. I'm like, what the hell's a bear doing out here, you know? And so we back up and we take off and we go out there. So I got her home, and I went down in town and got my brother, and he went and got the truck and a couple shotguns and the Q-beam and the flashlights and everything, and a bunch of us jumped in the trucks and went up there, and we're going to see what was going on. Well, yeah, I'm telling them, you know, this is what happened, blah, 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 blah. So we walked down in there, we're looking around, and, you know, back in the day, you didn't have rechargeable stuff, you know, you had put a couple batteries in there or whatever, unless you wanted to spend like 90 bucks on this Q-beam battery pack that was about 50 pounds, and you had to hang it over here. Well, that's what we use for coon hunting, and you know, shoot 2 coons and you pay for your battery pack, you know. So we had one of them, we'd plug the Q-beam in and, you know, do whatever. Well, man, the same thing happened to us down there, and there was like four of us up there, and we all kind of back up like in this round group like this, you know. And the same stuff, all the little crickets and stuff, everything got quiet, you know, tree frog, hoot owl, everybody just shut up. And all of a sudden you hear this like tree break. Now this was way before anybody, I think, ever knew about what a tree break was or anything of the sort, but it was like, this tree broke, and then everybody was like, did you do that? Somebody thought they might have stepped on a twig or something. No, we're all back to back scared like a bunch of kids, you know, a bunch of girls out there scared in the dark like that with our lights. Well, then after that, then everything quit. That branch broke, everything started up again. So we started looking around. And my brother goes, well, I'm going to go find some tracks up by the truck. Let's go look. I said, all right. Okay, and he goes up there, and he goes, look at this. And there was these 2 marks where that thing jumped down over the creek, and just like this, right? All the leaves, the dirt under it, everything is just bare down to the dirt where it dove over there where we scared it. So, anyways, we looked around. We walked around down in there. We didn't see nothing, you know. And so, anyways, now it's okay, monster hunting time. Well, back in the day, we wanted to shoot anything and whatever, but, you know, different now. But so we decided next night we're going to go up there and we're going to get it. So my buddy Lee's got like a 76 Jeep with a 304 in it. It was a pretty stout truck, you know. And we backed into this spot that was on the other side of the road, okay, across from where we were parked at. And we back in there, and I got one of my buddies just got out of the Marines, and this kid, man, he would have punched a brick wall and broke it. You know, he's stout. He's sitting over here. I'm on the back seat of the Jeep with my dad's 308, and Lee's driving. Gerald's got the light. And I said, look, if something happens, wait till I tell you, blind with that light. And I said, I'm going to put that sucker down. He said, all right. So we're sitting there, and hoot owls in the tree, crickets, everything's going on. It's all just like close. Man, we were sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. It was about 1 in the morning, and Lee goes, man, I got to work tomorrow. And I go, yeah, I'm tired too. He said, well, we need to split. And I said, all right, well, just as we're fixing to go, the owl quit. And I smacked him. I said, hang on. And then the tree frogs quit, and then the crickets quit, and everything quit. It got quiet. And I said, dudes, this is what happened there now. You know, same thing. So all of a sudden, we hear this thing coming up. Same foot. It was like a step in a drag, man. And I'm going, that's it, that's it. Well, we think that it's going to come up into the road across from us and come right at us where we were parked in the Jeep, you know. It didn't. It came up and it went probably across the thing, and then it came around through woods that were thicker than this, and is coming into the side of the vehicle like this, through just the thickest stuff that you can imagine. And Gerald, he freaks. It's gonna kill us. It's gonna kill us. Get out of here. Well, he gets down. I never seen a grown dude that was 200 and something pound solid muscle get down in between the seat and the floorboard and the dash of that Jeep. It was this big, and he's down in there like this, scared to, and he's got the Q-beam down there. So I'm pulling on the cord. Give me the light. Give me the light. You know, and this thing's coming through the brush, and it's very adamant on what it's coming to do. You know, and Lee goes, I'm getting this out of here. I'm getting this out of here. And I go, go. Well, he fires it up, his Jeep, and when he did, that thing comes shooting out in front of him, and he put it in low and dumped the clutch, and when he hit the lats, it come across in front of him and dove back down into the creek. And I about flipped out and grabbed hold of the roll bar and was kind of hanging out of the back of it, basically, and he took off and went. And he flies back through all those old roads and everything back into town. And, you know, the next day we had to put 3 body bolts back in the Jeep because he broke them all. That's how bad he was getting out of there. But when we got into town, Lee was like, I don't know, he was like in shock. And he was sitting there, you know, we're trying to give him a beer, he ain't drinking the beer, you know, we give him nothing, you know, just whatever, he's just sitting there. And finally, you know, we got him to talk a little bit, and I go, dude, come on, tell me what you saw, you know. And, you know, because I seen basically the same thing I saw before, something jumping off in the brush, but I was kind of backwards hanging out, trying to keep from being left there, because I would have been, I would have been bugged out, you know, if I was there by myself, but either way. So he finally comes up and he said what he saw, the shoulders and the neck, there wasn't like a neck, and all the skin was coming out through the hair. He said it wasn't like it was fur, it was like hair, but it was really, different parts of it was, you know, thin hair kind of, you know what I'm saying, like patches. Like it was, you know, just long, thin hair. So, anyways, you know, through the years I've talked to him, you know, and it's like, every time I talk to Lee about that night, he'll look at me and goes, he'll say, that's just kid stuff, you know. He won't talk about it. He won't say nothing about it. He'll change the subject, whatever. But he will not talk to me about what happened then, you know. So, anyways, next day, this daytime, and me, Guy, and my brother Guy, and my friend Brad, we decided we're going to go hike that creek. It goes up there a long ways. And we all got 12 gauges with double up buck, you know, and we're just walking in this line, right, through this ravine. And we come up to this thing, and we're way back in there, at least a mile, right? Maybe a mile and a half. And I called it a lean-to back in the day, because back then nobody knew anything about, you know, shelters for Bigfoot or tree knocks or breaks or whatever. There might have been somebody, we never heard nothing about it. And I think personally that some of the stuff that happened there was some of the first stuff that happened, period, you know, but it might be wrong. But this lean-to looked like something broke the trees, laid trees up against a tree that was alive, sticking out, so it made like a shelter basically. And I said, hey, y'all, come here, and we're looking over there, and I go, dang, these kids come a far way to make a shack, you know, because that's basically what it looked like. But then we started looking at the tree deals, and they were busted, like twisted almost, you know, not cut or anything, you know, not with a hatchet or nothing. None of them was that way. They were like broke and twisted and busted and set up that way. So we start walking again, and my brother, he's to my left, and I'm in the middle, and Brad's on the right. And we come up to where the trestles, the train trestles are in the back there. And where it's built, it's straight up. It's like, you know, just, Okay, you see train trestles, just dirt straight up the hill where it's built on top of the hill. And I hear this like elephant coming through the woods or whatever, and I look over and I see this trestle, and the trestle started here, and right before it, I see these big trees just moving down. The limbs are all going, whatever. And I hear my brother, and he's scared to death. He goes, Gene, like that, you know. So me and Brad, we head over there, and he's down on one knee like this, and he's got his gun up like this, and he's shaking like that. And I come running out, I go, what the hell was that? What the hell was that? And he goes, it was big, it just ran up over the hill. And he was scared, right? So I threw my gun on my back, and I ran over to the deal where it went up, and it went up this incline in 2 steps, okay? Now, I couldn't get up it. I was trying to pull myself up this incline with just me and grabbing on the trees and doing what it did, and I got not even halfway up, and I couldn't, you know, I couldn't reach anything else to grab to go. It was so straight up. So when we talked about it, he's, you know, that's what he saw. You know, wasn't no doubt about it. That's what went up over the hill, and you can see where it took 2 steps, man. Boop, boop, and it's gone right up over it. And I got long legs, and I can climb back in. I climb anything, but I couldn't get up that thing. Like, there's no way. So after that, there's some few stories going around in school, you know, where, you know, this certain little window of this stuff happening, you know, maybe, you know, a year, 6 months, whatever, where people were seeing stuff. My buddy Randy Nix, he had a little Chevy Love, little four-wheel drive Chevy Love, and he said, man, they were all packed in there up there making out, him and his girlfriend and his buddy and he said 3 of us are looking out the window one way, you know, or however they were in there, stuck, whatever they're doing, you know. But he said 3 of them saw it, and one of them didn't, but this big hairy thigh run right alongside the truck. You know, if you remember their trucks, they were a little bit tall, but they were really not, you know, so it would have been about thigh, you know, thigh height going by. But I don't know. There's a couple of stories coming out of the river down there, you know. A couple of my buddies had some guys come up to shop the other day and talked to them, and they got some stuff going on down there that, you know, they're wanting to wait till it gets colder, cooler, because it's so thick where they're at. You know, where another guy saw one down there on the riverbank, him and his grandkid, you know. But that's about the newest things I got coming out of the Brazos is, you know, Archie and his grandkid. But
So Gino, for the Lake Worth launcher that you saw with the red eyes, have you heard of, or I guess for anyone else, this is welcome for you guys to comment as well. Some people, sometimes they'll describe seeing a similar type thing where they see red eyes. Have you ever heard of anything else like that?
We studied red eyes a bunch, right, Greg? You know, trying to figure out what had red eyes, because many of the people that I thought were credible seeing something that wasn't, you know, something, an animal in a tree or whatever, talked about red eyes or reddish eyes. And what was it, the pigment in the eye or something we come up with, maybe it was causing it. But these, what we saw, red eyes, was not, it was a red eye, man. It looked like, it was as red like his shoes right there, you know. So, you know, whatever. But we think supposedly a crocodile or a gator has red eyes if you shine light on them. And I don't know, we shined the light on everything we could shine the light on. And I never found nothing with a red eye, you know. So.
But it was a Q-beam. You mentioned it wasn't a Q-beam from the early 80s? It was,
yeah, right. That was a Q-beam. And it was red as red could get. So, I don't know. I ain't saying nothing. I don't know nothing. All I know is that, you know, they were as red as could be. They were so red I thought it was a reflector, because I didn't know where I was at. I thought maybe there was an old driveway over there and they had reflectors in the trees, you know, and then there was 2 of them, you know, about that far apart, wider in my head probably, like that. And I thought somebody had stuck a couple of them on there. But when we went back the next day, guys, there was nothing there but trees. No reflectors, no nothing. And for people to be out in the woods in monkey suits and crap, especially with our bunch out there when we were kids, you know, crap, they'd have got shot, you know.
Question, you said something about a man and his grandson saw something on the roof, right?
Yeah.
Where was that?
That's Horseshoe Bend.
Oh, Horseshoe Bend.
Yeah, there's been some sightings down there and some stuff going on. Nobody talks about nothing because they don't, you know, they're my buddies, so they talk. You know, I talk to them. It's like another. A lot of those people are kin. They're all kin. But stuff can happen down there in Brazos for sure. They can run that thing all over the place.
You also said something earlier about a trapper, a government trapper. It was like a
Trapper, government trapper.
trapper.
Yeah.
That was he federal or state?
I think he was a state trapper. I'll have to ask Rick if he knows more about it. I'm just trying to remember what, you know, stories we talked about, you know, back in, and you know, it was nothing to them.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
they-
what surprised me.
you know, and he had a pretty good, his theory on the foot is pretty, it's a pretty good theory, you know. I mean, of it having some kind of fat pad down there.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I mean, even in the Patterson film, if you look at the bottom of the foot, it looks like, you know, it's got some kind of fat pad down there on it. And then why, you know, everything makes tracks. You know, why these things, when you do find a track or two or whatever, it's like, that's what you find. You find a track or two, and then, you know, you can just start circling and come all the way back around and you don't find nothing, but there was something there.
You say that when it got to running fast or got
The toes come out. When it got scared, it took off running, or if it was chasing something or whatever, you know.
that's when you get tracks, but otherwise.
Yeah, walk. He called it he said, have you ever seen a walk track? And I go, you mean like it looks like something was there, but nothing's there, like maybe a boot, you know? Maybe a boot was there or something weird like that. And he goes, yeah, he goes, that's that.
And they called them what kind of
A
apes?
what? He called them bush apes, I think, or, you know.
Bush apes.
Yeah, bush apes, I think that's what it was.
That's a good word.
But he had there was nothing in his mind that they weren't there, and he hadn't seen them and whatever, you know. It was just another animal in the woods.
Any other questions for Gino, you guys? All right, thanks for sharing. That was really, really interesting.